Knock it up. Welcome to the show, everyone. Yo. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. Loser Leaves Wrestling. My name is Red Jefferson. I'm here with Hammer, Roy. Hammer.
Yo. What's going on?
That's right. How you doing there, Roy?
I am coughing a lot less, but my ribs hurt. Too much coughing. And now under my pectorals are very sore, and I'm in a lot of pain. I'm taped up.
Yo, you taped up? Yeah. Is that Kinsey tape?
Or big tape? Time. Kinesiology tape.
Kinesiology tape.
Today I went to the chiropractor, and the guy was like, "Take your shirt off," and he just massaged the fuck out of me and then taped me up. It was great.
That sounds awesome. Did he massage your ribs?
He massaged like my back, like my upper, and like because I was telling him that my back's because I haven't like been able to move in 3 weeks. So I'm all tight and achy. And
he just cracked you all up. That's good.
Yeah, just rubbed me out.
That's great. Good. I've got welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. Woodsy the Beast is already here.
Woodsy
the Beast says, "Woodsy, let's get you something."
Get him something.
Say what? That's the new one. That's the new one added to the arsenal. Woodsy says, "What's up? Who's ready for the trios titles to be forgotten next week?" You're damn right, Woodsy.
Whoa,
Woodsy is bringing in some heat. No, but we have to. I think before we even start, we have to talk about what's on everyone's mind, and I'm so happy for it, and I think we all are. It's we've been waiting for it forever. I've personally been campaigning for it. We finally got reruns of Battlebots on TBS. It's happening. This Geartooth campaign, Geartooth Red Jefferson. Yeah. My alias, I'm talking bots. which is coming back next week, by the way.
Wait, hold on a second. Time out. There's a new season of BattleBots starting next week?
It's not necessarily a new season as much as it is they have more content that they're going to wedge into a new season.
All right.
They had a separate tournament that was like a 3-day tournament. They're going to stretch out over 8 episodes.
8 episodes. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Geartooth is making a comeback for 8 episodes. And then I'm assuming that's going to lead into another new season.
At the beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's killing me.
And this is on Thursday? So you're going to be coming back on Thursdays.
I'm not terribly sure. And it's also a Discovery Plus exclusive. Well, so it's also not.
Good. Well, that means more people are going to want to watch Geartooth because not as many people are going to be able to see it.
That's what I'm hoping. They'll want to see my illustrations. I hope so too. No, it's definitely not on Wednesdays. They want to compete. They want to compete with AEW now. They're all a part of the Discovery family.
Network.
The Discovery family. Joe writes. Joe's in the chat.
Joe's here.
Joe writes, breaking news, Vince, to control your narrative. Now he must swim in the sea of the obscurity he created. Very funny. Actually,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
To control your narrative, CYN is coming to Austin in October. Should I go to that? What do you think? What would you do? I gotta ask Johnny Booze.
You gotta go and you gotta boo. Boo when they say control your narrative. Joe writes, we know you really care about Red. Triple H is here to save your WWE and doing so save wrestling. What? I didn't say that.
Yeah, everybody.
That's not my feelings.
You've been silent on the Discord. Joe's been talking shit about how you're so excited. Everybody's actually been talking shit about how you're so excited that Triple H is back.
I am very excited about it. But we have to talk about AEW Dynamite.
We got to talk about AEW Dynamite.
Honestly, this episode, Dynamite.
It was exactly what I needed. It was. Yeah. I think the last few weeks have been a little funky. Not necessarily bad. The crowds have been a little weird. The energy's been a little off. This show was white hot from beginning to end. It was fantastic.
It was really good. We have to start getting into it, but we have a few more comments. S writes, just a drive high.
I like turtles.
Great seeing you, S.
Heyo.
Joe writes, Roy, you must go for the people. You must go for the people to control your narrative. You must go.
Yeah. I got to report back live.
And Woodsy says, yes, go. Kazarni is in CYN. Is Kazarni there?
Kazarni's in CYN.
Oh, yeah, dog. Go root
Was
for
he
him.
The pirate? No, that was Paul Burchill. I bet he's in CYN too.
And then S writes, meant drive by, but it also be a drive high. That's what I thought you meant. Anyways, most titles. Yes. I think we'll get to that.
Yes.
Let's start off with the top of the night, Roy. We should really start at the top, right?
We got to start.
Usually people start at the beginning.
Right at the very beginning.
We start out with them having they're still back to their old music, and I just really think they desperately have to get new music.
I think that look, I may have stopped appreciating that music, but 1 week with that other really low energy music, I'm back on it. I
hated that, but this music just sounds like reject WWE music. It sounds like every single one of their intros.
Why? Have you always thought this? You're just bringing this up now?
Yeah, I've always thought it was very generic. You don't think it's generic?
I think every wrestling intro song always has been generic. They're all generic rock songs. Always.
Excuse you, not all of them. I'll show you. You'll see.
No, I'm talking about that's different. I'm talking about the beginning, Nitro, Raw, Thunder, SmackDown.
How do you like
all
me now?
of them?
No, the best one was SmackDown, and don't come off it. SmackDown.
You like that one that I think is kind of low energy.
No, but it hypes you up. It starts off low, and then it gets my time. And we have to play that.
I like the one before that, the 2002 one. No, that's the first one. The one in between those two was the one I liked. Was that it?
Yeah, dog.
No.
Yeah. You want to say that again? Say it again, Roy. Say it for the audience. Let them clip that. We have to talk about this damn show.
Somebody correct me. Oh, yeah. Okay. Roosh.
No, but first, JR's back.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it, but at least they didn't get rid of Taz.
Here's the thing.
That's important.
I didn't like it, and then I really liked it, and then I didn't like it again. Because I thought he came out specifically to call the title match. Because then in the next segment, I didn't hear him for a little bit. So I was like, oh, he just came out for the title match. Great idea. And then I kept hearing him, so they had 4 announcers all night, which they don't really step over each other. They really don't. But, I'm a Taz guy.
Yeah, but honestly, as long as Taz is still there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But we have our first match of the night: Jon Moxley versus Roosh for the interim AEW title. And I gotta say, I like Roosh a lot. Honestly, after the match he had at Ring of Honor with his brother, and then this match with Jon Moxley, man, he's better than Andrade. I like him more than Andrade.
Okay.
He's just more intense. He's got there's a sense of urgency with Roosh.
I don't know if I would agree with the urgency part, but I would agree that there's an intensity there. There's like an inherent intensity that you're just born with, that he has, and everything he does is impactful. Like he doesn't fly like Andrade does. When Andrade really wants to, that guy can fly. Roosh just pounds the shit out of you. He just beats you up.
He's a luchador that's just a brawler, which I love. I love that. Rush attacks him immediately. Vicious, impactful hits. They're really hitting each other.
Yeah.
Then he bites Mox's forehead, there's blood there. Blood there. And Mox is bleeding, but Roosh licks his hands. And as soon as he touches the blood, he sees it and he's about to lick it. And then he stops himself and he licks in between, doesn't even lick it. He's just like, and faking it. He faked it, which is smart, but also don't do that. Don't
and
lick.
Then he just wiped the blood on his. Just wipe the blood on your chest like you did.
And then he did it again. He almost licked it again later in the match, and he's like, dummy. But yeah, real good match. We get Moxley is about to go to the top to do something. Andrade comes out to crouch him, and the Lucha Bros chase him out. But then we get a bulldog choke for the win. Moxley wins and retains. Good match, right?
Oh, great match.
Great opener.
Yeah, great opener. This Worcester crowd, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yeah, good crowd.
Great crowd.
Roy spent some time in Worcester, Massachusetts. That's where he called home the past year.
I was never. Okay, but I've spent
time
there. But I have spent time there.
That's where he lived when he was working in Boston.
My partner also spent time there as well. Partner went to school there.
Oh, look at that. If you have any Worcester questions, ask Roy. We have S here.
It's Worcester, not Worcester.
We have Joe writing, I would go if Paul Burchill was in CYN. I liked his pirate gimmick. Swinging into the entrance, chef's kiss. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that as well. Vince McMahon did not get it. Brooklyn Bleak says, everybody couldn't keep quiet about the trios titles, and people are already going to forget them.
Guys.
Brooklyn Bleak's in the chat. That was Brooklyn Bleak.
None of this is true.
Woodsy the Beast says the Hardy Boys theme is so generic it was used to sell WCW credit cards. Really? That's very funny.
Who said that?
Woodsy the Beast. Woodsy knows. Brooklyn Bleak says Kazarni wrestler in AEW Dark once. Was he in Dark? Interesting. Apparently he's a good wrestler. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
But then the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out. Jericho has a black eye. He looks pretty roughed up.
And a broken nose. He's a broken nose. That's a shoot broken nose there, brother.
Yeah,
that chair broke his nose.
And that's right. That's when it happened too. You're right. Angelo comes out and starts talking during the music, telling him to stop it, but he forgot they have to do the pyro first, so that he let them do. He's like, "Stop the music! You don't deserve it." He calls the AEW Galaxy, which I really love.
Really funny.
Really funny. Then Jericho says he wants to congratulate. Jericho. Oh no! Then Anna J says something. She's now the new Anna J. Anna J.A.S.
Sure.
And she'll choke everyone out.
Yeah, I like that It was fine.
I like her more than Ty.
It feels like the NWO now because all these people just keep joining, and it kind of makes sense, but doesn't really make a lot of sense.
It's going to turn to the Dark Order soon. As soon as Jericho leaves, it's going to be the Jericho Appreciation. And they're just like, we can't wait for our king to come back. Jericho then says he's finally, after 2 years of not facing for the title, he's demanding his rematch. And he wants to be the champion. This is a great next opponent for Moxley. I love it. Then Mox is like, I hate you. I used to look up to you. I used to want to be like you. But he's like, when you were young and you were in the Super J Cup and you were all this life, not this bullshit you're doing now. He's like, if you want to fight me, you better come as the Lionheart.
With the last surviving member.
The last surviving member of the
Heart Dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's awesome. I'm
Jericho
very excited
loves
for
a
that
good
match.
character change. He loves
he
it.
does.
So this is it. And this is
exactly very infrequently goes back to one, except for the Painmaker.
Yeah, right. Except for the Painmaker. That's a good point. And I mean, he hasn't been Lionheart. He's going to bust out the Lionheart tights. He's going to do the whole thing next week or whenever that is. And they needed to do this, right? Like, Tony Khan does this thing that's really interesting. And I don't know how I feel about it as a long-term strategy. You do 4 pay-per-views a year, but you run a massive arena like once a month. So this is going to be in 2 weeks at the Target Center, which is like double the capacity that a normal Dynamite would hold. So they've got to do something big. And now they're going to Canada in October, which is like 2 or 3 weeks after the Grand Slam shows. So they just constantly have to book these giant cards. So it's tricky.
It's heavy. It's heavy stuff. We got in the chat. Chica Marks is in the chat.
Chica Marks.
Say what? Chica Marks says, actually, it's Worcester. Hex Infinity's back in the chat.
Oh, Hex.
Squirrel. Hex Infinity says, Gresham leaving is a damn shame.
It is a damn shame.
We're going to talk about that in the Weekly Wrestle this week. There's a lot to talk about.
Another packed Weekly Wrestle, and it's only Wednesday.
These Weekly Wrestles are becoming so jam-packed full of content. It's like we could barely contain them.
Yeah. And Thursday's a huge news day because it's when the Observer drops.
That's true. That's true. Very good point, Roy. Very good point. Joe writes, too many titles. At least my boy Hook is now a champ. We're getting to that, Joe. We're spoilers.
There's not too many titles, but that's fine.
There was 5 title matches in this match. Like 7 people walked out with a title in this night. Like, so maybe there's not, and that wasn't even all the champs. We didn't see the women's champ. We didn't see the TBS champ.
Yeah,
TBS champ.
Yeah. I haven't seen Wardlow in weeks. I don't know where
Wardlow's
Wardlow is.
Yeah. So they have way too many titles. And then Adam Cole has his own Hard Championship.
No, that's retired.
Yeah, whatever.
You haven't seen Britt with that.
Hex Infinity says this Dynamite Tony Khan responding to the interwebs that the storylines were stale. This is a good response back.
There's some really fucking good stuff that happened tonight.
Let's actually go for it. Brooklyn Bleak says Gresham should have been in the main event match tonight against Danielson. Daniel Garcia, really? I don't give 100%. I don't 100% remember, but didn't every Ring of Honor guy lose to an AEW guy at the Death Before Dishonor?
Hey, it's one family now, brother.
And Daniel Garcia is amazing.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia rules, and I wouldn't even whatever. Well, that's a different conversation.
We have so much to talk about. We haven't even started.
Just tune into this week's episode of Empty Arena.
But we can't talk about this, Roy. We can't talk about this because right after this segment, we take a look at the announce desk.
Yeah,
and in front of our three announcers, Happy Taz, Happy Excalibur, Grimacing JR, we see that they're introducing the trios titles.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for the tag team division. They will be forgotten.
Dude.
They will be forgotten. We're going to talk about it later tonight. But
Look, let's all relax. Let's all take a deep breath. First of all, I loved that Excalibur was like, oh, we're going to choose the trios titles, and it's not the 3 of us. And Taz was like, oh. Taz loved that.
And JR was just like, not saying anything at all.
Those titles I don't know if S is still in the chat. Those titles look like the old WCW tag team titles and or the world title from the early 90s in WCW, not the big gold belt, but they had another world title that Vader held.
One?
Yeah, whatever that was.
That was in between. That was when shape. Flair had the belt.
Yeah, and like Vader had it for a period of time, and then I think Sting and Flair had a merging match.
Hex Infinity writes trios. Yee. Hex
Thank
Infinity.
You, Hex. Let's go.
Hex Infinity. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap to ruin the rest of the tag division. Trust me.
It's not.
They don't care anymore about the tag division.
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be.
What do you mean they don't care about their tag division?
Next up, we have Tony with Dante Martin in the back.
Yeah,
Tony
was funny.
And this was not bad. Dante Martin, he's going to face Sammy tonight. And he's going to bring all he's got because Sammy's old and stupid and nobody likes him. Yeah. And then he's just like, but you have Ty Conti in your corner. Guess what? Everyone's just like, ooh, who do you got? You're like, I got someone in my corner. Yeah. Ever heard of a person called Sky Blue? And everyone's like, nope, we don't care. Nobody cares. Sorry, Sky Blue. Bless your heart. But they have given us no reason to care about her. Yeah. And so why not use someone that you do care about, like Penelope Ford? Or she's injured.
Well, she's still injured. Yeah.
But like
anybody. Everybody else is a heel though. So
that's true. They all have heels.
Turning heel.
Then we have Ricky. Okay. Look. We get Danhausen coming out, and we know what's gonna happen. Danhausen gets a big pop, great entrance, whatever. Then like the lights go dim, and then we go to the Titantron.
Oh my god.
And by the way, I'm calling it a Titantron for the rest of my life, I think. I just realized that. I call it Titantron. I'm just
Do you understand why it's called the Titantron?
Because it's it's WWE.
I hate it so much.
I just realized I've been saying it my entire life, and just recently I'm just like, Titantron. Why am I at a baseball game and talking about the Titantron? I thought about that when I was with Andy Mack at the Kansas City Royals game. I was just like, hey, what's that in the Titantron? He's like, the what? But then we go up there and Ricky Starks is there, and this beautiful video package of him just
beautiful house, dressed so perfectly. Just this is it. This is the time.
Just talking about his bright future and all the things that are gonna be happening. Then and then that music hits. Great. By the way, generic music? Don't think so.
No. No, I'm not saying. I never said anything about wrestlers' entrance themes.
You just said.
I'm just talking about TV show wrestling themes, except the ECW theme.
The bodies hit the floor.
That's not real.
That's what they play on the network. No, that's not true. They totally got rid of it.
Song, whatever the song is.
Paul Heyman's entrance. You're right. But then we get Danhausen versus Ricky Starks for the FTW title. That's a title match, another title match. This one, no, don't worry. This is more like the 24/7 title, so we shouldn't worry about it. And so right at the start, we get this Ricky Starks kind of like Danhausen gets a little offense in, but Starks goes for the spear. Quick match. And then win. He won the title. Just real quick before we move on. What Danhausen? Why are does this help? Is Danhausen just a complete joke wrestler that we will never care about as a wrestler?
Correct.
And
correct.
What is I just want to know an end goal for Danhausen or some goal for Danhausen. Where do you put him?
Properly using him right now. Yeah, give him Dark Order, give him a talk show segment, give him something to do on Dark, let him be the commissioner, anything other than him just being a straight wrestler who's kind of silly. Don't need it, don't want it, don't have time for it.
And also he's not a very good wrestler because he's clumsy, he's a little clumsy, and also for Christ's sake, stop looking at the other guy when you're selling. He's on the ground and the other guy's getting ready and he's looking directly at him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, your face is painted. It's a target for our eyes.
Yeah.
We see that you're looking, waiting for the next thing to happen. You have to use your periphery.
Right.
You have to use your periphery vision. But he beats him. And then he's just like, I'm not done yet.
Yeah,
I want a little bit more. Oh I want a little bit more. Anyone come out? I want another match right here, right now. Out comes Hook. Hook comes out, Place loses it. And I said to you last week, Hook was going to be involved. Do you remember me saying that?
I'm sure you did.
You don't remember me saying that?
I'm going to say I do.
No.
I'm wrong. I'm always wrong.
Don't say that.
It's just
Britney, bitch.
This is a good example of when AEW's right. This worked so perfectly. It was so good. The crowd went nuts. Taz is crying on commentary.
He's like, I got goosebumps. I've got chills. I got
Hook
chills.
is in orange for the first time.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Honestly, everything about this, they were both in orange.
Yeah.
And this was just Taz's dream right now.
Yeah.
This is his son won his title.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he won the title, his hair was
by the way,
Hook
wins the title, by the way.
Yeah. And the way it happened, clearly, Ricky does a lot of work at the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta. He's a trainer, and he's clearly been working with Hook for months and months and months at the Nightmare Factory. So this made sense. They were really comfortable with each other. They moved really well together. There's a lot of fun counters, and then that fucking Red Rum was awesome. Ricky sold it perfectly. Ricky's just fucking the king, king, and I'm not even done putting him over yet.
Yeah, no, we haven't even gotten to the best part of this.
Yeah.
The best part.
The best part of the night, I would say. I would venture to say this was the best part of the night.
real quick, Hook immediately goes for body shots and big suplex. Spears Hook, but Hook fights out of it. He goes for the Rochambeau, but he counters it into the Red Rum and he taps out, chokes him out. And then afterwards they do a fist bump. Fist bump, and now he's got the title. Awesome moment, but we're not done. Tony Schiavone after the commercial break is with Ricky, and he's just like, tell us like about how you feel, what's going on. And he's like, I'm okay with losing. I've lost before, I'll lose again. And he's like, I made that title mean something. That was just a piece of leather and metal until I had it and made it a title. And he's like, I exceeded all the expectations of what people thought of it. He's basically shitting on Brian Cage the entire time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I deserve more than 40 seconds. I deserve more than 40 seconds, which I love that line.
I love
and then he's like, his time isn't last month. It wasn't his time was last month. His time was last year. His time is right goddamn now.
Yeah.
And everyone's losing it. And as soon as he's about to say another thing, gets clobbered by powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm just like, that's his neck.
Yeah, that was scary. That was scary.
It came out of nowhere. Yeah. No one expected it. And then gives him a spine buster.
Yeah.
And fucking Taz was just like, what
did he say? He said, what the frick? What the frick did he just do? It was the only thing that was my issue with this segment. My only issue with this segment. It was a small one, and it wasn't their fault. I don't know if it's because he's old, and I've said this 10,000 times, but I'm going to keep saying it until it stops happening. But JR just has his catchphrases that he needs to get in no matter what. And fucking Powerhouse hits the spine buster, and he calls him Spine on the Pine from Powerhouse Willie Hobbs. This guy, you calling him Willie Hobbs, he just crushed your new number one babyface. This was the best babyface promo I've seen by a singles wrestler since like last year when Punk re-debuted. MJF never has cut a babyface promo in his life.
Oh, didn't he?
Depends on who you talk to.
But no, 100%. It's a great moment for Hobbs, great moment for Starks. I'm sad to see them break up, but also super excited that they're doing something with them. Super excited.
My secret love, my guilty pleasure in professional wrestling is a good former tag team partner blood feud. Yeah. Ooh, I love it so much. Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels. Let's do it.
Want to know what though? I think that what could work here, I wish Taz didn't sell it the way he did. I wish he was just like, how'd it happen? Because whenever you lose the title, you're kicked out.
Yeah.
If you have the championship and you lose the FTW, you are out of the group. And I wish Taz kind of been like, sorry, Ricky. It's the breaks, kid.
That's the breaks.
But we have some comments here. Wizzy the Beast says, can't for Mania 39. Can't wait for Mania 39. Gresham versus Walter for the IC belt. I'm not mad at that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think, well, maybe Gresham. Hey, Triple H is the talent relations guy.
Yeah.
Might
Triple H is the talent relations guy and the head of creative. So
yeah, maybe. Good point, Woodsy. Hex Infinity says, Death Triangle get the trios titles or we riot. Whatever.
Nah, dog, come on.
No, not saying whatever to you, Hex Infinity. Come on. I'm just saying that, like, okay.
I'm just saying it's going to be really cool. There have never been a good set of trios titles in the history of North American professional wrestling.
I agree.
And they can do it. They have, because no one's ever had the people to do it, and they've got the people to do it.
They have, but it's just, we're going to get to the tag titles in a little bit.
It's their first match.
We're going to talk about the titles in a little bit. We're going to talk about them in a little bit, Joe. Right. Then we get Joe writing, Woodsy make it a triple threat with my boy Gargano, and you're on. Ooh, Joe, you're fired.
That was the thing. Joe posted he wrote 5 or 6 comments all about Gargano and how much he wants Gargano to be back, which I think he will be.
And then I wrote right after. I just wrote before we got out here. Gargano's totes gross, which was
funny. Did you?
Yeah, I did. Tony's in the chat.
Oh,
boom! Wow. Writes boom. Trios titles, just what you wanted. Red. Tony Khan, leave me alone, okay? Tony Khan's jumping in the chat just to troll me about these trios titles. Geez. Joe writes, even though they did my boy Dan Hausen dirty, it's awesome to see Hook win that belt. Now strap Dan Hausen and some random jobber to Hook's leg and have them take the trios title.
No, terrible use of the trios title.
I think whatever you do with the trios title, it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun car crash, mix them up. Poop shoot title.
They should just say that the trios titles are lucha rules. Just throw it all out the window.
Oh yeah, just have it. No,
Rick Knox is always the referee. And
don't even have a referee.
Rules.
You don't need one.
Someone's got to count the three.
Let them count their own. It's easier that way.
It's like a pickup game of basketball.
Yeah, it's a pickup game.
They call their own fouls.
That's matches that don't involve Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Moxley, Jericho. They're just like, yeah, it's a pickup game. Everyone can join, and you can leave if you want to. Who cares? It's just wrestling.
Yeah.
Joe writes, Danhausen to the new improved WB. God, I would love that. Honestly, Danhausen
would he do? What would he do?
Honestly, Danhausen in WWE makes more sense to me.
He'd be the Miz's servant.
And I would have a lot of fun watching that.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd like to see him.
I don't even care about Danhausen, but I think he deserves better than that.
We got all the monies. We got Kane.
Kane's
here. I owe Kane a text. Tony writes, Team Taz is done with this now. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what this is leading to.
We don't know what this is.
Troy Fusilier Jr. is in the chat.
Oh!
My squirrel got hit in the ass by a mad scientist.
Troy writes, Triple H and Creative, let's fucking go! That's right!
Hey, why? Come on. What are we doing here?
Quack. Wizzy the Beast says, I would have wanted a junior cruiserweight title over a trios title. Yep.
What?
I would have liked that too.
Everybody's under 200 pounds in AEW except Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, we'd have like a 110-pound title. Yeah. And
I mean, Dante Martin's a prime candidate for that title.
Yeah, he's a very skinny boy.
Speaking of,
we're going to talk about that. So Joe writes, Lucha Rules sounds like WWE's 24/7 rules. Classic lol.
Whoa, hold on a second, Joe. That's super disrespectful because that's a real thing. What WWE made up, they made up, but Lucha Rules is a thing.
No, I know. Lucha Rules are no rules.
That's not true.
No, it's not. It's not true. You're right. I'm being
the only change is that they don't need to tag each other. When someone rolls out of the ring, a new person gets in the ring.
Less rules.
They used to do that in WCW, and they were great, entertaining matches.
Less rules, less rules. Because all these rules are clogging the thing up, you know? Brooklyn Bleak says,
jump through my screen and
Okay, we'll stop. I'll stop. I'll calm down. Brooklyn Bleak says, Shikara is king of trios tourneys. Okay.
Yeah.
Quack.
Wait,
quack.
are you say whatever? We'll talk about it later.
Troy writes, quack, motherfucker. Damn right.
Troy,
quack.
Let's
okay,
go.
we got more talking to do. We got more things to cover. And Roy's gonna get really pissed at me soon enough. We got acclaimed. Acclaimed in the back.
This was fucking great.
It was great.
It was really small. It was really subtle. But like, if someone were to say like, what's like an example of like a good backstage promo, this is perfect because if I don't know who the Acclaimed are going into this, I know exactly who they are by the end of it. I know exactly who they're feuding with. It sets something up for Friday. It sets something up for the future. I'm excited to see more and learn more about them after this. Mm-hmm. They're clearly a team. They're on the same page. I want to watch them. The way it was shot, the whole thing, it was perfect. I loved it.
It really was. Neither one shined more than the other. Like it was very equal down the line. And I don't necessarily like the music videos they do, but I'm excited for this new one because they're faces now, and I'm excited what that looks like.
Yeah.
But also, like, one of them calling the match. You want to know what my guess is?
What's it gonna be?
Dumpster match.
Oh, I love it.
Because they kept saying trash. They kept saying trash. Yeah. Like we're gonna trash this. You're trash boys. And I think would be a good way.
The most famous dumpster match in the history of wrestling.
Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack versus the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah. And Billy Gunn took a gnarly bump in that match. And you know what?
So did Foley. And Funk.
They all did. I want to go back and watch that match after the show tonight.
Yeah, we should actually. Great. That's a great idea.
I just want to point out to everyone in the chat, seems like we're popping tonight. This is the difference. Something like this is the difference between like a fine wrestling company and a really, really good wrestling company. Because everyone's going to have a good like main event scene. Roman Reigns, Edge, Drew McIntyre, whoever. Like you're gonna have a good main event scene, but do I care about the people on the bottom of the card? That's what makes this like so important. And I care about the Acclaimed, and I want to know what's gonna happen in this angle.
I can agree more. Like everyone has a purpose, and also something I was thinking about. Like when you watch Raw or when you watch SmackDown, historically the past 10 years, let's say 10 years, you watch one of the WWE shows and you're not going in expecting a surprise. Right. You're not going in expecting anything different. When one does happen, it feels more special because they happen so seldom. And when they do, they're very well planned, all those things. But you go into Dynamite and you don't know what you're going to get. And I love that.
Yeah, you really don't. And it's
like
great.
You could be pissed off one week and you could love it the next. And we are. We frequently are, you know, Roy? Roy, you're breaking up there. Can you hear? You're
breaking up a little bit. You see me? You okay?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're all right.
It's all falling to pieces. Okay.
Tam's got us.
Tam's got us. We got Hex Infinity writes, G1 Climax promos have been fired, though.
Oh, really?
We really have to watch G1 Climax.
We'll watch the finals. We'll watch the semifinals. We'll watch towards the end.
Smart. Hex Infinity says Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, and ELP. Who's ELP?
El Phantasmo.
Oh, okay.
We watched him wrestle at Forbidden Door. He was at
I remember his antics. He is actually pretty good. Joe writes, Tony Khan likes to bring random celebrities on AEW. Emilio Estevez, anyone?
I'm ready.
Quack.
That's got to be a soundbite somewhere.
Actually, that should be a soundbite. Yeah. I gotta find it later. Then Tony Wright, Finley beat the crap out of the Juice.
Yeah. Fit Finley's son beat Juice Robinson for the U.S. title.
Oh, I was just thinking of Fit Finley being the shit out of Hoovin'. It's just like, I want to see that. But awesome. We got to keep moving though, Roy. We got to keep moving.
We got to keep moving.
Because we have so much more content to get to.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, we have Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin.
Yeah, we sure do.
And I will say, you know how my complaint with Sammy Guevara in the past has been that he's very talented and he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't really make anyone, you know, like he's a selfish wrestler. Right. He did a great job of making Dante look special and important and like up to speed. Like Sammy Guevara is like maybe 2 tiers above him right now. Yeah. But this match brought Dante up to like right underneath him, you know?
Yeah, Dante keeps surprising me. You know, he keeps having great matches. He keeps rising to the occasion. I didn't love the finish, but I get the finish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's talk a little bit about it. We get some back and forth. Dante's taunting the shit out of Sammy, and I like this life that Dante's got.
Yeah.
You know, Dante's got some fire to him, which is nice.
Fire.
Then we get Sammy trying to leave because he's just like, I'm over this shit. This is not for me. Come on, babe. Let's go fuck in the truck. And then Dante's just like, no. Starts brawling him up at the top, throws him off to the side. He jumps off the entranceway. How he got that height from a 2-foot platform?
Crazy.
That was a 2-foot platform.
Yeah.
Amazing. They battle it back into the ring. We have Dante dives off the side, and then Sammy knees him in the face. Really good, making Dante look good. We get this big flippy sequence for the go to hell for the win. What are your issues with that finishing sequence?
Because I've always hated Sammy for doing that double jump on the top rope into the cutter, because that double jump
that's Dante's.
It's unique. And not a lot of things in wrestling, period, let alone AEW, are unique anymore. So no one should take that from him. And the fact that Sammy, this fuck who hasn't worked, he's doing a good job because I hate him. Who was like a handpicked guy who's at the top. He's already in major spots. He's well above the card, well above Dante on the card. So he's taken this, and everyone's going to associate that double jump with him. And now everyone's going to associate the double jump with him because he outshowed Dante a little bit. So I
guess that isn't the best. I like the sequence. I thought it made sense because they both do it. I wish it was reversed.
Yeah.
I wish Sammy went for it and then Dante jumped up.
Right.
And caught him. That would have been a fun little give to him because it says, but Hex and Finish says, this is just too much content. Just stop. Oh, we ain't stopping yet, kid. It's just getting started.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Right.
Then Hex and Finish says, duck in the truck. What are you doing to the duck in the truck? Yikes. Stop it. Tony writes, Tony writes, Dante and Sammy have a long way to go if they want to be Will Ospreay level of flippy dudes. Well, they're getting there. They're getting there.
Ospreay also packed on the muscle in the last couple of years, so he's on a whole other level from that regard as well.
He looks like a different person than when I first saw him. He looked like a kid last time I saw him.
Yeah.
Him versus Ricochet. He was a skinny little twig, and now he's like
Ricochet too. Also packed on the muscle.
He looked like Zack Sabre Jr. Honestly, like in terms of physicality, but also he packed on some muscle too.
He did. Brian Alvarez used to call Zack Sabre Jr. chicken chest.
Chicken chest. Oh, I've heard pigeon chest. I never heard chicken chest
too.
I like, but yeah. And then after that, I like as soon as the match was over, it's just like, why is Sky Blue here?
Right.
But now,
well, she didn't even like get up. It took her forever. It was terrible.
Sammy goes to do a 720 on Dante, but Sky gets in the way. She's like, not gonna happen on Sky Blues watch.
After
you better watch it.
Sammy and Ty just stomped on him for a couple of minutes, and she was just outside being like,
she's like hyping up the crowd. You ready for me to get in the ring? Yeah. You ready for me to get in the ring? And then Ty stops her, but she can't handle Sky Blue on their own. She's too much. Yeah. But Anna Jay comes out to help, and then the best friends are still friends,
still buddies.
Yeah. Even though I hate this whole thing with them, just in general, I just hate them. I am excited for the day that -1 comes back. And they used to love him, and like that was kind of thing. And then I want them to really treat him like shit.
Yeah, push him down,
knock him to the dirt.
Yeah.
And then Dante says like, they'll never. No. Dan Hausen goes over. He's like, they'll never listen to you the way I will. And then he becomes the whisperer for the king.
Now we're talking.
And then we have Dan Hausen. You ever see Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Remember the king that was old and he had that like spooky looking Severus Snape guy that's whispering.
But I believe you. I'll take that.
I want Dan Hausen to be that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I really want, and this is far less exciting than what you just described. Because Eddie, Ortiz, and Ruby come down and make the save.
Oh, sure.
I want a Sammy versus Ortiz feud. I think that would be really interesting.
Sure. I think
what else are you doing with Ortiz?
But the thing is, I just don't think Ortiz. There's something missing.
We don't know that yet.
He hasn't given us something to work with.
He's jacked now, shredded, got the ball.
I miss him chubby. And crazy. I like when he was biting things
Tiger
like
style?
he's like insane. Tiger style. Bring that back.
I did like that.
We have Tony saying Dante and Sammy have a long way. Oh, we already said that. Troy writes, Dolph Ziggler finally in a solo run again. What? Troy. Troy.
Tune into the Weekly Wrestle. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about Dolph Ziggler. But like Dolph Ziggler, the best way to describe him is with the sound. Paper Mario yawn. He's just a snooze. He's a snooze.
He peaked in 2017.
But we love you, Troy. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, he did. No, his best run was probably his first one with Big E and AJ Lee, you know.
The only good run he had after that was in 2017 with The Miz. And then they had an Iron Man match for the Intercontinental title. That was The Miz's best run of his career as well. It started The Miz's run from the fall when he cut that promo on Bryan Danielson. That was in the summer of 2016 to WrestleMania the following year when him and Maurice fought Bella and Cena. That was like the best run of his career.
It was great. You're right. That's a great point.
Miz has never been good except for that period of time.
Come off.
All right. His stuff with
we may have new listeners here that are big Miz heads.
Well, let me know if you are. I'd love to talk to you about it.
You don't want to talk to Joe about it. Me and Joe are Miz heads. S writes Misfits. That's right. S writes Gargano lack of AEW experience will always hold him back. AEW is where sports entertainers go to learn how to work. What?
Who said that?
S.
Really interesting comment, S. Really
wait. Lack of AEW experience will always hold him back. AEW is where sports entertainers go to learn how to work.
Well, you know, AEW is home to the greatest technical sports entertainer in the entire world, Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, you should think about that, S. That's where sports entertainment lives, is in AEW. And sports entertainment is everywhere. We've discussed this. Sports entertainment and wrestling are synonymous. The only real wrestling is in the Olympics. So everything outside of that is sports entertainment. Yes. Yes. Congratulations, everyone.
That's tough.
We got to get back to the business here because you're going to love this next part here. Oh, well, you're not going to love that next part. You're going to love 2 parts from now. Tony's with Daniel Garcia in the back.
Yeah, I love this.
And he's just like, where's Brian been? Here I've been week in, week out, proving that I'm the best technical sports entertainer in the world. Yeah. That's right. Best technical sports entertainer in the world. He's got to prove it when he beats the shit out of Bryan Danielson tonight. Good little promo, and two people really shined tonight for me in promos that I wasn't expecting. Yeah. With three people. But we'll get to that a bit. But like just some of them that we already discussed, Dante Martin and Daniel Garcia both did a very good job talking when they're not used to it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I wonder if your third person is who I'm thinking of.
But hold on. S writes, look at what AEW did for Daniel Garcia. What? Yeah. AEW didn't do that. You know who did that for Daniel Garcia? And you're going to hate me for saying this. I'm going to hate myself for saying this. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho.
Dog.
Chris Jericho.
Garcia
No. I'm just joking.
Before Chris Jericho.
I know. I'm just, but in terms of him, like embracing the, like, honestly, like everything before.
You know who did this for Daniel Garcia? Honestly, 2.0.
Oh yes, I'll give that. Yeah, that's fair. But where did they learn it? NXT 2.0.
Chikara.
Whatever. We gotta keep talking. But we have but then the next part, which I know you're gonna love. I know you're gonna love. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh.
I love this.
They're talking shit, and then the best friends are just like, "Whoa, talking a lot of shit for three guys that aren't fighting us." And I love this.
It was so good.
Two experienced wrestlers. You got Sanjay and Jay Lethal versus two experienced wrestlers, Trent and Chuck. And they're Goliath next to them. Satnam and Orange Cassidy. Yeah. I love this. And this is where you get your trios champions. This is the trios championship right here. Honestly, this would be the best trios match I could think of right now. Because I'm like, oh, this is something I want to see. This seems fun.
Incorrect. I loved this. God damn. I loved this for so many. Is just a classic comedy trope of like reverse psychology, convincing Sanjay Dutt to wrestle again when he hasn't wrestled in multiple years. And then him saying, "Why didn't you stop me?" to Jay Lethal, and then turning to Satnam and Satnam being like, "I don't know." You know, it's so funny.
I like that they were making Satnam like a big threat in the beginning, and now he's literally the henchman bozo. Like, I don't know, boss.
Which is great. It's like a great little ebb and flow.
It's perfect.
Just Sanjay's so funny. Did you just a quick thing? We're not going to get into it, you know, but I loved what a wonderfully perfect touch at Ring of Honor this past weekend. They cut that promo about how like you wear white, it's tradition for funeral services, and Sanjay Dutt has a white pencil behind his ear. It's like such a perfect, wonderful little touch. It's great. I'm
excited to see the player from the Himalayas back. Yeah. It's exciting. Tony makes a good point here. Garcia's promo lessons with Jericho have been paying off. That's a good point, Tony. Tony Khan would know. He's in the back. Joe writes, The Miz is a generational talent. He wants you to hate him. One of the best chicken heels ever. Is that fair to say?
One of the best chicken heels ever? If there's a top 10 list, I will say that he's maybe number 10. Maybe.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Maybe.
But like chicken shit heels, there's not many great ones.
I mean, Hollywood Hogan was a chicken shit heel.
Yeah, he's one of them.
I can't put Hollywood Hogan and The Miz on the same level. I can't. The Miz was literally...
Think of 8 more.
Give me some time and I will.
We should revisit this. This is we should revisit. Top 10 chicken shit heels are coming this weekly Wrestle.
Oh boy. Now we're cooking.
Top 10 chicken shit heels. We're going to discuss it.
Tony, everybody come up with your list.
Joe.
Send them to me. Joe.
Hex.
Troy. Woodsy the Beast. Brooklyn Bleak.
Brooklyn Bleak, Woodsy the Beast.
If you're out there.
Buse. Chica Marks. Everyone join. We all got to join.
Shit heels.
We're going to talk about this weekly wrestle. S writes, AEW turned a bum sports entertainer like Garcia into a wrestling superstar. Now I just know S is trying to get me mad.
Really
S is just trying to get me mad, and I get it. S is trying to do to me what Joe does to you, and I get it. I get that frustration. It's really getting me angry. Yeah. Tony says, Sanjay Dutt in a ring return next week. Very excited about that. But it's not this week. Next week, it's Friday. Mo says, best friends inaugural trios champs. Mark it. Okay.
Guys.
Cool. And Mose is in the chat.
Mose. Top 10 chicken shit heels.
Yeah, this Saturday. Top 10 chicken shit heels. What?
All the monies. Kane.
Oh, I thought you were saying Kane.
No,
like
it's
Kane
not
is
a chicken shit heel.
I was just like, you got the definition weird.
Dr. Isaac Yankum.
Yeah. Jerry the King Lawler's in there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep going because now we're cooking with some fire here.
Yeah. Now we're entering the second hour of
and
AEW
usually
Dynamite.
The worst hour.
Yeah, usually it's when the show starts to dip a little bit, but not quite.
Time, we got Tony in the ring with Jungle Boy.
Oh.
Jungle Boy comes out, and then he's with Luchasaurus, and I'm a little disappointed by it.
I'm still waiting for... I was nervous that they were going to do another swerve tonight.
But he is wearing black still. That's important to remember. Yeah. He's still wearing black. But then we get Lucha... we get JB... So Tony asked him a question. He's
First
like,
of all,
you got...
I just want to bring up the fact, and I missed this too, and Excalibur said he missed it, that Jungle Boy came back last week in the same leather jacket that Christian put on his head, which I thought was a nice little touch. Didn't know it.
That's actually a really good point. And that adds a lot of depth to it. And I like that he's wearing the leather jacket because it looks a little tougher.
Yep.
But then he grabs the mic and just starts screaming at the top of his lungs. Because the thing is, Jungle Boy, every time he's talked, really bad. Really, really bad.
He can't help the fact that he just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
He's an intelligent guy or whatever. He doesn't sound stupid, but his voice is just dumb sounding. I'm not saying mine is perfect, but I'm also not on Dynamite, so...
But then he gets the mic. He just starts screaming, which I was at first being like, well, you could... He says, what does he say?
He says, Christian Cage, you're the biggest pussy in the world or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, you're the biggest pussy in the world. Everyone loses it. And I'm like, oh, cool, you had that one line because you get to scream it. You can't scream this entire thing, Jungle Boy. You can't scream for the rest of your life. But then he starts saying, you ran, that you need, but the reason that you are upset at him because I kicked you out of the Battle Royal because of that you wouldn't get your payoff from that night. Yeah. And little did I realize that your wife left you because you're a piece of shit.
He's got a small prick.
He said, divorce your bitch ass. And he said small prick. He's getting saucy. He's getting a little saucy, but the thing is, he's sounding good. Much better.
He's sounding good. Yeah, he's got a lot more confidence. Better. You know who I bet he's working with? Arn Anderson.
Yeah, I could believe
Arn's got some promo skills.
Yeah, no, he's great. I think Arn's are some of the best.
Arn might be better than
his against Cody. His face turn against Cody is just I pull out my clock.
Yeah.
And he said that monster that you were hoping was going to stand by you is my best friend.
Yeah.
And he keeps talking. He's like, I was burying my father one shovel at a time. Christian gets on. He's like, hold on a second. Jungle Boy doesn't hear him.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No, it's not that he doesn't give a fuck. There was a lot of audio issues tonight. Did you notice the audio issues?
Yeah.
And so they were playing that video. The crowd saw the Titantron, but they didn't have the audio in there.
Yeah.
So the audience, we heard Christian be like, wait a second. Yeah. They didn't hear the live thing. And Tony's just like, shut the fuck up, Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Jungle Boy. And so then Christian starts saying what does he say? Interrupts, but doesn't hear him, blah, blah, blah. He said Lucha made a big mistake. I agree.
Mistake.
Christian was scared. It wasn't scared of Jungle Boy. He's scared of what he was going to do to Jungle Boy, Roy. That makes sense. Now that makes sense. And then he said that he is going, that jacket that he draped over him, next time it's going to be a body bag. And he's going to bury him right next to his daddy. He's going to kill Jungle Boy. And then he's like, don't you remember you told me some secrets? Oh, I know some secrets. And he locks it up, throws it down, but he didn't swallow it. He didn't throw it away. He kept it in his vicinity.
Somebody's going to pick that key up.
Someone's going to pick that key up. But I thought this, for what they did last week, which we were very frustrated with, right?
Yes.
I think they did a good job of rebounding.
Yep. I think my new theory is that Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy are going to be side by side together until the pay-per-view where they have their first match, and Luchasaurus is going to turn on Jungle Boy then. Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
I think that's great. I hope something, but I am excited about this. This is becoming interesting. Return next week. Oh, we got Brooklyn Bleak says, do you know the name of the Joshi wrestler where Sanjay got that moonsault stomp finisher? I forgot her name and it's annoying me. Do you know, Roy? If anyone knows in the chat, scream it out.
Manami Toyota?
Manami Toyota?
I don't think it's Manami Toyota, but I just went with that one.
If anyone knows, scream it out. right? Roy, you research that. I'll move on to the next part here. Fair?
Yes.
Oh, but I want to talk to you about this next part, Roy, because we're on the Cutler cam.
Io Shirai?
Io Shirai. Maybe it's Io Shirai?
I don't think so. I don't know.
She's relatively new. I don't think Sanjay took a finisher from her. She's been wrestling for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, I'm sorry. Because this is what's really important.
We have to talk about the Cutler cam. So we have the Young Bucks in the back. And Cutler's just like, hey, you heard about these trios titles? All your friends are injured, so maybe I could be the one. They're just like, no, we hate you. And they start walking away, and they walk into Adam Page, and they're like, oh, happy birthday,
Adam
man.
Page drinking water, by the way.
Drinking water, because he's trying to focus up again. He's trying to focus up again. And he's just like, wow, happy birthday, man. He's like, yeah. Thanks, appreciate it. Your birthday's tomorrow, right? yeah, it's on my birthday tomorrow. And we were just thinking about talking about something like something serious, like if you have a moment, and then all of a sudden Dark Order comes and shits over everything, like, oh, happy birthday, just being obnoxious, just being assholes because they're having a moment, and they just kind of take advantage of that. But the Young Bucks, they're like, no, it's fine. Have a happy birthday, and they're like, yeah, you too, and then they walk away. And they didn't want to interrupt the happy birthday celebration.
Sure.
And the Young Bucks, they just shy away. And Cutler's just like, oh, that was weird. And they're like, screw you, Brandon. What is it? Let's go, Brandon. Or Brendan? What is it? That fucking the incel secret word.
I think it's let's go, Brandon.
We should stop saying it just in case someone isolates it.
Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah, we should. I regret saying it.
Fuck. Like, melodrama acting aside, I thought this was great. I love it. Clearly the main event, or not the main event, but the first ever trios titles are going to either go to Hangman and the Bucks or Adam Cole and Red Dragon. Now, the only question I have is that Kenny is supposedly on target to come back at All Out, and it was supposed to be in a trios match with the Bucks. So I don't know what they're going to do with Hangman. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, do they do an injury angle with Hangman and he's at ringside? Kenny takes his place. I don't know, but I love it. This is where all of these guys should be. This is where everyone should be. This is why Adam Cole came there. Like, he's literally in AEW to wrestle Hangman, the Bucks, and Kenny. That's what's supposed to happen here. So finally, after a year, we're finally going to get that. And that's partially because Kenny's been injured and all of that stuff. But
it's awesome. I'm so excited for this angle. It's kind of weird that they introduced trios titles just for this angle, because that's the only reason they have them. Yeah. Because it really doesn't make sense otherwise. But it's nice that this is a great angle. I love it.
I don't believe you. I was so ready for you to hate this that I don't believe that you actually like it.
I love this. I just wish they didn't bring the trios titles just for this angle, because that's the only reason that they make sense.
This is what we've all been waiting for. Then to get back together.
Tony wrote nerd love between the Bucks and Hangman. Yep, that's it. That's right. Hikaru Fukawa.
Yeah, we're going to keep pronouncing that
wrong. Hikari, I got that part. I know that one. But that's the person that Sanjay did the stomp from, apparently. Thank you so much, S.
Wow, S. So
S smart. For you. Because you're such a sports entertainer. We have to keep moving on, because now we're going to get Tony Nese and Smart Mark versus Swerve, our tag team champion.
This is one of those matches,
half of the tag team champions here, right here for your display, because not only because this is one tag team, right? Like, we'll get to this in a moment, but we have Keith. He's waiting in the back. He's watching in the back because he's like, I've been banned from ringside. I can't be out there. So there's this handicap match, and Smart Mark keeps like wheedling out of the way. It's basically just between Tony and Swerve. And then he finally gets his hands on Smart Mark, gets the pin, done. And he's like celebrating in the ring. But then we go to the back, and there's Keith Lee knocked out by second-rate Brody King. No, I'm just joking. It's Josh Woods. I like Josh Woods. He knocked him out. But then then Tony Nese starts attacking Swerve, and now we've got our one makeshift tag team champions. They're gonna have a blood feud against another makeshift tag team.
No, they're not. Brad.
This is a company that was they were talking to us about how they're going to bring tag team wrestling back. And they have tag team wrestlers that have been with the company that have been justified. We have Proud and the Powerful, we have the Best Friends, we have FTR, we have Young Bucks, we have all these other teams that have been there longer. But as soon as these two singles stars come in, they're just like, let's throw them together and give them the champs. Because the tag team champions aren't super prestigious. We could just toss those around. And so we'll give it to them. And who we should have face them, Roy? I just thought of this. Two wrestlers that aren't together. Let's make them together so they can have a blood feud. Let's have a fight.
They're not going to have a blood feud. They're going to have one match. They're going to beat them, and then they're going to move on. The problem is all of these tag teams that you're talking about, one, Proud and Powerful, don't exist anymore. Two,
used to.
Yeah, sure, and they should have had their shot, and they never did. Lucha Bros. Some incarnation of House of Black, Best Friends, FTR, Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds. Silver and Reynolds could probably take the pin, but like they always take the pin, so who cares? Andrade and Roosh, even like all these guys can't lose. They can't just have you need to have them fight a tag team that they can beat, that people might be interested in seeing. Everyone's probably sick of seeing Silver and Reynolds lose. Everyone's sick of seeing Private Party lose. There's no reason to it. Ass Boys, Acclaimed, they can't lose. They're in their own feud. Just give me someone who might be interesting and different that they can beat on a one-off match in a couple of weeks, and then they can move on to FTR at the pay-per-view.
They can lose. It's just they shouldn't lose to Swerve and Lee. The thing is,
Lee have done it though.
I know they've done it in the past, but they haven't. They're not an established tag team.
But I'm saying that
is that fair to say? Whether they're cohesive enough is another story, because we only see them wrestle together 2-3 times.
It's unfairly fair. Here's the thing: they've done everything they can to be established as a team. On TV, they've done everything they possibly can, but they weren't given enough. That's fair to say. But compared to the Bucks and FTR and all these other guys that really the tag team division should be built around, even Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, whatever. But because at least Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy were a tag team in AEW for a year before they won the titles. They rushed this thing with Swerve and Lee.
Yeah.
But they're a tag team. They have a tag team finish. They have a tag team entrance that's a little disjointed. They're working on it. But they have those things. They have matching-ish gear. They're doing all the things to be a tag team. And they're over. And
they just didn't do it for long enough to be... to lose to anyone else. So if they face the Acclaim look like shit because you can't beat them. They're not a real tag. When you're saying who's going to take the loss to them, you're naming all these teams Silver and Reynolds or this makeshift one, because they have to, someone's got to lose. If it's a well-established tag team that has the titles, they could beat another well-established tag team. It's just that it's weird because they're not a well-established tag team.
Yeah. It's not untrue.
Tony writes Fukuoka.
Hikari
Fukuoka. And then Brooklyn Bleak says, "Yo, thanks. The same woman that did the rider kick, right? The same woman that did the rider kick."
Yes.
Yes. Tony, thanks, Roy. Tony writes, "For one time, I agree with Red. Keith Lee and Swerve should be solo acts. Keith Lee in main event picture and Swerve in the TNT title vortex." I agree. They should be solo acts.
What's interesting
if they're gonna be tag, let it sit, let it rest, let it cook.
Yeah.
What were we saying?
That is where Swerve and Ricky ended up. We all thought it was going to be Keith Lee and Swerve that turned on each other, but it was Powerhouse and Ricky who turned on each other.
And that's the team I wanted to win the title. That would make more sense, because then if Ricky
they've been together for over a year.
But if Ricky and Hobbs won the championship, it wouldn't be wrong for the Acclaim to lose to them. The Acclaim lost to them, it wouldn't be wrong. If someone else lost to them, it wouldn't be wrong. It'd be they're upping their level. If Swerve and Lee, they're just they kind of ruined the Acclaimed.
I don't buy that, but I understand where you're coming from. But I don't buy
it. But Tony and I on the same side. Blessings. We should have some music for that. Kids cheering. Maybe we'll do kids cheering if I could find it. We'll do this because it's an error. S writes, they gave the belts to Swerve Lee because those two just really clicked. I think that it really speaks highly of Tony that he realized how good and over his new tag team is. Smart booking.
Who said that? S
said that. We could both. Roy, do you agree that it was smart booking? You just said
I don't know if I agree with smart booking, but I agree with the first part that they were over and he went with it. And I'm sure he's such a fucking mark in a good way that what?
I'll tell you in a second.
That I can't say it. Your face just. I lost my train of thought.
We have Bruce Pritchard in the chat.
BP is here.
Bruce Pritchard. Does anyone have an in with AEW management? Any open management positions? Asking for a friend. Oh my God, Bruce Pritchard! Thank you so much for joining us.
Bruce Pritchard is here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Roy. It's just like we got Bruce Pritchard here.
We got Bruce here.
And S says, "Well done, Bruce Pritchard. Well done." Wow. So I'm so sorry to interrupt. That was just really big news.
Bruce.
Bruce Pritchard, thank you so much for joining. And you could go straight to fucking off, you little fuck twat. Go burn in hell.
Wow.
Wow.
You're so dominant.
Tony says, "Lol." Let's go. But yeah, I think we just
it's a mixed bag. It's not completely good. It's not completely bad. There's some positives to it. There's some negatives to it. And most importantly, though, the positives are that Keith Lee and Swerve as wrestlers are great.
Yes, they are great.
They can make it work, and they're making it work. And it's like Hangman and Kenny. Hangman and Kenny won the titles together, and they'd never tagged together, and they beat a lot of accomplished tag teams. Then they eventually fell to a more experienced team like FTR, and that's how it should go. Eventually, they should lose the titles to a more experienced team. They should be outsmarted.
Yeah, I don't even think that was great booking to do at the start of your tag division, giving two singles guys the belts at
we'll never know.
Start.
We'll never know what happens with the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, so many things changed, and we'll never actually know what was supposed to happen.
Yes. But Tony writes, Impact always needs help. It's true. Bruce. Get on it.
Yeah.
Little ship dick. Malachi Black. We have a Malachi Black promo that actually was good.
Yeah, made sense. Made sense. It all worked really well.
We're cut from the same cloth. You're the Redeemer, and I'm just trying to save lost souls from the burning fire. You wanna pray to the throne? I want you on the throne, kid. And which I really like that line. That's really good. And then Brody's just like, fuck you, Darby. I'm gonna kick your ass some more. Want you in a coffin match. Yeah. This was good. This was a good extension, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Bruce Pritchard writes, "That's some salty language. I used to know JR, but now he doesn't return my calls. Something about my podcast. Well, you know."
Well, right, Bruce.
Bruce, thank you so much, Bruce. Now we have Pac. They just show a video package of Pac. Great. Awesome.
Love this.
This is actually exactly what you wanted from this, and they're doing it. So they showed up just overseas. Do you know where?
I think he was in Ireland.
And he had a match with someone for the All-Atlantic title. Great. And they showed it, and they're just showing him travel around the world so that when he comes back, this is great for Pac. Because Pac, I keep saying Pac.
It's supposed to be Pac.
Is it?
But it goes back and forth. I've heard stories that it's Pac, then I've heard stories that it's Pac because it's for like six pack. Because his dad
I thought it was like Pac for like X-Pac.
I think it's Pac for six pack, but it doesn't make any sense. Don't worry.
I like Pac. I like Pac better.
People call him Pac.
Yeah. Because of X-Pac. That's better. Do we know why he's named X-Pac? What is Pac?
So Pac is Tupac.
Tupac, X-Pac.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Degeneration X Pac.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. that never synced before. But then we get a recap of what happened with Thunder Rosa in Japan, where she lost to Mia Yamashita.
Yeah. Yamashita.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
And then we get the match. We get the rematch match for them. And at first, this started off bad. It started off because one of the thing is Thunder Rosa, until she feels embarrassed or she gets hit really hard, does she realize she's in a match? And I feel like, and I feel like Yamashita was kind of a little clumsy in the beginning.
Yeah, she's nervous.
There was some nerves, but then there was that spot on the apron that was real clunky. Mm-hmm. And then after that, like Thunder Rosa was just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna hit you. And then the match really started because then it was hard hitting, well fought, smart wrestling. They were going after this fire in her belly, and Yamashita's kicks. Pretty great.
I loved Yamashita's kicks. They really gave Yamashita a lot here to try to get the audience into her, and the audience got into her. An AEW audience will always get into a wrestler they don't know if it's a good wrestler. Period.
Yeah. It's true.
Period.
That's why they didn't like Cole dipshit last week.
Exactly, because he
was just boring.
Yeah, he sucks.
More like
they also
snoring.
I also think they don't like AEW audiences don't like classically attractive wrestlers who can't wrestle. Like he was just like a classically boring, attractive man who can't wrestle.
That's funny because I was just watching a documentary on 4chan and they hate good. They're just like, it feels like almost just like, he's too good looking. Get away from him. We want freaks. And it's interesting. S writes, because he was formerly of the Wolf Pack. Pac.
Oh, that could be.
But why wouldn't he call himself?
I thought it was. I literally thought it was because I remember Kevin Nash saying something in like a shoot interview or somebody. They used to call him Pac or Pac back then, like amongst themselves, I guess, as buddies, because he liked Tupac. He liked rap music, and they all liked hip hop, so they called him Pac because he liked Tupac.
And then S writes, Pac equals Pac. I agree. We have Vinny Mac in the chat.
Vinny Mac,
Vince Russo, Vince McMahon.
We have Vince Russo or bust.
If we had Vince Russo, geez.
It'd be the real Vince Russo.
Vinny Mac, Bruce, get out of this chat and return my calls. While you're still working, I need you to shred some docs for me. The investigators are going to be looking at our show, Roy.
Oh,
the investigators are going to be looking at our show. We're going to be making the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
That's right. Play on words. Pac equals Pac.
Hey, Bruce and Vince, while you're here, can you like the show? Can you get those likes up?
Can you fucking like the show? Could you smash that like button, Bruce and Vinny? Brooklyn Bleak says, just think of the video game Pac-Man for pronunciation. Now everyone's trying to confuse me, Roy.
I'm done. I'm over this.
Everyone's trying to confuse me.
Let's keep going.
We have to keep moving because we're there, Roy.
Yeah.
We're at the main event.
Yeah, we are.
We're at a masterpiece. We have Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson coming out with wet ass hair.
Love it.
The wettest hair I've ever seen him wear, and immediately starts attacking Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Looks great. Hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah.
Immediately starts beating the shit out of him all around the arena. Throw him around, snapping him up, kicking him like hard and shit. And Bryan, there's this one part where he has him on the ground. Daniel Garcia's on the ground, and he's like on top of him on his knees. He's like, hit me. And then Daniel Garcia just starts slapping his chest as hard as he can. God. And he just fucking forearm and grab it. Loves it. Like he just like this. Bryan Danielson just loves the scrap.
Yeah.
He just loves it. It's his best thing in the world. But then out of nowhere, he gets a drop kick. Then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan gets a little dizzy. He's getting a little dizzy.
I mean, like this guy
just hits the ground.
It's too real.
And it's awesome. Yeah. And Bryan is awesome. He's getting. Oh, by the way, we did have a Kip Sabian sighting right in front of Bryan Danielson.
So many Kip Sabian sightings. I loved it.
But it was right, like Bryan Danielson goes into the crowd, raises his arms right in front of him. That was really like, I think I'm starting to like it now because you're really in love with it.
I'm so in love with it.
He is in the crowd the entire night.
He's never sits. He just stands there in this one specific spot where all the wrestlers go to brawl in that corner, and he's just always there. It's great. It's outstanding.
I love that. That's like, honestly, the more I think of it, the more I think it's like the Muppets, and I love that. It's just like there's just a character in the stands that
it creates a funny little funny thing for the AEW universe. Like if you go and you watch every
for the
show,
AEW Galaxy, Roy.
Yeah, for the AEW Galaxy, if you watch every Dynamite, there he is. You're like, oh, that's that guy. I watch this show every week. There he is every week.
Man,
same
I
box.
can't wait till there's a streaming service, and then we just go back in time and watch it, and we're just like, what the fuck was Kip Sabian doing? And that'll be a fun thing.
That'd be fun.
Or for children of the future, they're just like, what's the guy doing with the fucking box on his head?
Excuse me, Dad. What's this box?
Dad, why the piece of shit with a box? Because everyone's swearing in the future. That freaking is garbage. But then we get dizzy Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Garcia is taking advantage, slams him against the steps, DDTs him on the concrete after he lifts it up. And he's bleeding now.
Yeah.
He's bleeding now.
Yeah, he's getting all of his favorite things in.
And then he gets him on the ropes, and then Bryan Danielson gets him on the ropes, gives him a big back suplex. We're worried about his neck.
I'm worried about everything about him.
And then Bryan Danielson goes for the kicks. Daniel Garcia reverses those stomp kicks into a sleeper hold. And then while he's in the sleeper hold, he reverses that into a cattle mutilator. And then and then as he's getting out of that, he goes in for a tiger suplex. Great chain right there. Then Daniel Garcia goes for his hammer elbows because he loves to hammer those elbows in too. Daniel Garcia, honestly, I like Wheeler Yuta a lot more since he joined, but that was meant for Daniel Garcia. That's about
it's a lot more fun. Everything that's set up the way it is a lot more fun. Daniel Garcia as proclaiming himself as the best technical sports entertainer in the world is so funny.
It's pretty funny.
It's outstanding.
And then we get Bryan Danielson reverses those into my favorite suplex of all time, the shoulder catcher suplex.
Sure.
That's my favorite suplex. And I've always wanted that as a finisher. Did you know that?
I didn't
want the finisher, and I wanted to dump them on their head.
Hell yeah.
I want to dump them right on their fucking head each time. Then we get a running knee and goes for the cycle lock. It's called the cycle lock. I keep forgetting that. He gets out, then they go into the outside. He hits the knee on from the apron to the outside, crawls back into the ring. There's a hand there. There's a hand that's grabbing his leg, stopping him from getting in.
What hand could that be? Yeah.
Someone grabs his leg, and then Danny Garcia takes advantage, goes for a pile driver on his head, and then just locks him into that fucking sharpshooter variant.
Yeah.
Where he locks in the sharpshooter, but then he just drops them off his knee and just pulls back on the ankle. And then we get Bryan Danielson falling asleep. And we get great win for Daniel Garcia.
Huge.
I have some issues with the finish. Oh, yeah. I feel like the dizziness was enough.
Yeah.
I feel like Daniel Garcia would have gotten a lot more out of it if they just did that. Yeah. The hand wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Because he's taking advantage of a sick man that came back too early.
Right.
That's enough of a storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, but they also had a match a few months ago, him and Garcia, and it wasn't good. It was short. It was kind of disjointed. Didn't work the way it should have worked. They made up for it tonight. This match fucking ruled. This match was great. What do you got?
A great match. Honestly, it was a great way to end the night. Great way to end the night, and great way for Bryan Danielson to come back. We got some comments in the chat. Vinny Mac writes, I only like poop jokes. Plus, one of you coughed earlier. Disgusting shows. You're weak. S writes, remember when there used to be trolls that would post offensive stuff or sketchy links? The old days. Those were some times. I miss our trolls. Yeah. Remember that one guy that would just start the losers review wrestling?
Yeah, and then he would create different accounts and then come in and say different things.
I'm the ultimate troll. And then he'd start saying some bad words.
Bad words. Really bad words.
Tony says, my job is awesome. I watch wrestling with a box on my head and get paid. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Tony Khan, is that you in the box?
Or is Tony really Kip Sabian?
Interesting. I heard a funny reference of Tony Khan. They referred to him as Rick Moranis on Speed. on that. It's very funny. S writes, he was at Pac's recent defense overseas. Who was?
Kip Sabian?
Kip Sabian?
Tell me more.
Joe writes, Kip Sabian is a perfect example of how bloated the AEW roster is.
Shut up, Joe.
Paid for months on end to sit in the crowd without a reference made to him.
Hey,
TK's got to watch the piggy bank.
Hey, Joe. Shut up.
Just say, but Joe, listen.
Shut up.
Joe, they're not paying him much.
Yeah, they're not paying Kip Sabian that much.
They're paying him Marco stunt money.
I would more worry about Matt Hardy than I would.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's making millions.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy's making millions at that company.
Maybe.
No, definitely. He's the fifth or sixth highest paid person at AEW because he came in at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic. He was just on Raw,
Yeah. Him and Brody.
But Joe writes, still sign me up for that job. Yeah, it's a good job.
Shut up, Joe. That's my new thing.
Shut up, Joe.
Hey.
Hey, Dad. They're watching us in the future. Who's Vinny Mac, Dad? That's my impression of kids. But thank you all so much. This is a lot of fun, Roy.
This was a lot of fun. Came in under 90. Love it.
Came in under 90. Look at us. We're getting better. Yes. But we're gonna be so good this week because this Saturday, loaded news day. And because of the suggestions from the sickos out there, that's right, our LLW fan base, the sickos. I like sickos, but I feel it's not very representative. Should we call them losers?
Whatever.
We'll figure it out. Let us know what you think.
Sickos are fun, but losers also make sense.
It makes sense, but sickos is fun. But we're going to do top 10 chicken shit heels. We're going to discuss it. Wow. And the whole point of this for Roy is for the Miz not to make the top 10. So Roy has to come up with a cohesive list that we could all agree upon. Yeah. Not just me, not just you, but everyone in the LLW verse, the LLW Milky Way.
Nice.
And yeah, thanks. I thought about it. And we're all going to agree on it together. Thank you all so much. Roy. Oh, by the way, that was Jake Hager's arm.
Yeah, it was Jake Hager's arm. Yeah.
As far as I wanted to the interference to be some kind of debut, but felt like a letdown to have the person who held Danielson's leg behind Jake Hager letdown. Yeah, it was a little letdown, but it's also I hate that they keep debuting people like this. So
yeah, I feel that way too.
I can't. I'm a little debuted out. Yeah, I'm a little debuted out. Joe writes, I need a hook to talk the way that way about Taz and TV. The way about Taz on TV. Need hook to talk that way about Taz on TV. Oh, my little kid voice. I'm assuming he's like, hey. S writes, hey, Dad. S writes, yeah. Sabian was at the show in Ireland. Pac stared at him. Pac
stared at him.
Stared at him.
Cool. They're gonna have a match. That rules. I hope.
I hope so. But wow, what fun we had today, Roy. Roy, tell us how much fun we had.
I did a barrel of monkeys.
A barrel of monkeys. I don't have a monkey sound.
That's okay.
It's a barrel of ducks, which actually would be frightening. Yeah. They would peck each other. That'd be a bloody mess. Yeah. But thank you all so much for joining us. Please check us out this Saturday for the weekly Wrestle 32. And follow us on all the things, like all the things. Check out our podcast.
Yeah, check it out. We might do an empty arena this week for Ring of Honor.
We have to do it, right? And we have to do one for Ric Flair's last match.
We're going to do that, next week.
Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Roy, give us a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ole. 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 Ole.